Portions of our programming are brought to you by our good friends at Provident Credit Union. With 21 Bay Area locations to serve you and your banking needs, visit providencecu.org. Now back to Rob Black and Your Money with your host, Rob Black, on the Bay Area's business leader, AM 1220 KDOW.
For the shame of being young, drunk, and alone.
Thanks for listening to the show. I'm Rob Black, talking all things financial, money, investing, and more. Pride myself on being prepared and trying to bring ideas to you. You have to learn to earn more, invest more, save more. They're all components. Along the way, we have to kind of admit that maybe our parents did us a little wrong by not teaching us some of these words when we were reading books about Jack and Jill going up the hill. Maybe we should have been learning more, a couple more financial terms here and there. With that said, one of the most powerful tools that you have to create wealth on a show dedicated to creating wealth is a mortgage. Let's bring on Mr. Mortgage Man, Scott Thompson, talk a little mortgages. Scott, I've bought homes and sold homes in my life, and one of the trickier things for me to do was to move from San Mateo to Marin in the middle of the summer before school started while getting kids registered for school, ready for soccer, ready for sports. On top of that, I had to manage closing out one mortgage while opening up a new mortgage, which is, I wish I could bring my mortgage with me, What do we need to know about the buying before you sell and that whole teeter-totter of how to get in from one property and into another?
Yeah, well, there's special programs, just what it's called, buy before you sell. And it allows you to buy your new home before you sell your old one.
Yep.
Go ahead.
No, you.
No, a lot of people need their proceeds, right? Like they can't even get into a new home without selling their home. So like these types of programs alleviate that.
That's what a lot of people don't know is that when you call your mortgage person or you look up mortgage rates, that there's products, and a product that may be available for me may not be available for you based on my credit score, based on my earnings, based on my vet status. Was I in the war or not? There's a lot of programs out there. People should always be thinking about it. There's even first-time home buyers and sometimes getting into low-cost homes. But let's keep staying with the whole buy before you sell. Gives you a lot of financial flexibility. Let's talk a little bit about that. I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the big one is gives you a path, which a lot of people can't see to buy that new home. 2 mortgages sometimes is just not feasible. You won't qualify. If you're able to move into that new home, like when you're selling your old one, if you have it staged, you have a chance of making anywhere from like 3 to 5% more by staging it. And sometimes it's just the peace of mind, being able to, you even said it yourself, like you had to juggle a lot of things with your family in the move, and just knowing that you have a home, you don't have to rent, you don't have to figure out what you're going to do. You have your house, and then let your agent sell your old house for top dollar gives people a lot of peace of mind.
Sounds good. Moving smoothly. Again, I like buzzwords, and this is a good one. Buzzwords, moving smoothly. Let's hit that a little bit, because again, I want you to create wealth. I want you to get to retirement. I want the money to last until you pass away and maybe leave some to your heirs. But also I want things to not be a stress for people. Moving smoothly. Let's talk a little bit about that, Scott.
Yeah, well, makes me think of a little success story. Recently, I helped a family using a program just like this. They were able to make an all cash offer on their dream home. They moved out of their old home.
Yep.
They were able to get it staged. They sold it for top dollar. And like that process, at least when it was all said and done, and they told me, it just made the whole thing seamless. And that's what you really want to do.
I hear you on that. It's kind of fifth business is a theater term where people in the background you don't really notice, but they have a big important impact on your life. Seamless is good. I don't want people to rush, but also I don't want people to take too much time when it comes to figuring out mortgages. What's the timeline usually to get involved with someone like you, Scott, Mr. Mortgage Man, MrMortgageman.com? Should people be checking in now if they're buying in 6 months or selling in 6 months, or 3 months is a good enough lead time, or maybe 30 days is good enough? What's appropriate?
That's a great question. I think everybody's different, but getting pre-approved and understanding your budget, knowing what you can afford, the only way you're really going to be able to do it is if you talk to someone in the mortgage profession and, like I said, get pre-approved. If that's a month out, like this weekend, 3 months, 6 months, if you know your budget, you know what you can afford, and you can build a plan to get it.
Thanks very much. How can people find you other than MrMortgageman.com?
You can call me directly, 415-971-0646, or again at MrMortgageman.com.
Thanks very much, Scott. It's MrMortgageman.com. It's 3 words, no underscores, no periods, just MR, mortgage, MORTGAGE, man, MAN.com. Good website, lots of products out there. Get in touch with Scott. He's my mortgage lender. He could be your mortgage lender as well. It's all about product. A lot of people don't grasp that. Speaking of product, Novo Nordisk's cheaper Wegovy is offering really bad news for hims and hers stock. So Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly had a shortage of their weight loss drugs, right? Just getting up to speed with manufacturing, getting up to speed with demand. I've been very honest telling you that I expect to lose my final 10 pounds this year that I want to lose. And then I'll be back to my start of college weight, which was slim. Maybe not slim. Athletic. What was the build would be called? I don't even know how to classify my own build. But it's product. So Novo Nordisk hit hard on hims and hers. Now, hims and hers were doing copycat weight loss GLP-1 drugs. That's their product that got them from erectile dysfunction drugs and hair loss drugs into something much bigger of a category. And now that's being taken away by the court system. Novo Nordisk said it's going to sell Wegovy at lower prices to uninsured patients and to patients whose insurance don't cover the medicine. The announcement comes a week after the FDA declared that Wegovy is no longer in shortage. That means Hims will have to stop selling the copycat version of Wegovy in the coming months and will largely shift its weight loss offerings to older generic pills. That's not great. It's not great news as far as product goes. Do you want the one that's going to get 25% of your weight off? Or you want the one that's going to get 2 to 4% of your weight off? Product. It happens in mortgages. It happens on Wall Street as well. So Eli Lilly has the lowest dose of Zepbound, $349 a month. That's less than $100 a week. And just do the math on that. How much are you going to be giving up in cost of alcohol or cost of a Domino's pizza late at night or the food that you no longer crave? The yummy, delicious Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Man, there was a period of time in my 20s where a pint would disappear pretty quickly. Here's a stylish tip for you. Don't know where I learned this, but if I have like a dinner party, if I have friends over, I'll get like a pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream, and I'll take a knife and cut off layers of it, just straight through the cardboard, remove the cardboard and serve it as kind of like this round disc. And people are like, that's so cool. I know. Great investor. Also part of, how shall we refer to me as, stylish. That's not a word that anyone ever uses with me, right? I'm not very Martha Stewarty. Oh, good God. You know, there's periods in your life where you're like, you're setting up your first house. You're either a rental or you've bought your first house. And you're like, I'm going to go to Target and get sheets. And you get like Martha Stewart sheets. And you're like, yeah. You're all proud of yourself. And then years later, you're like, no. Wealth creation is booming in the United States as multimillionaire population jumps 5.2% in the United States. We're outpacing worldwide multimillionaires who are growing at 4.4%. Right now, there's 2.3 million multimillionaires in the world. It should be easier for you to meet someone who's rich if that's what you want in your life, because there's more of us. Global citizens with worth at least 100 million surpassed 100,000 mark for the first time. Ooh-wee. That is a lot of money. When is enough, right? Let's keep moving forward. So as wealth creation is booming and we're getting to see more people worth 10 million, more people worth 100 million, there's investment firms that are catered to the ultra rich. How do they handle the storms? They're not really hedge funds, but they have product that is bigger, better, more diverse than, say, just buying stocks and holding them, buying real estate and holding them. So if you don't know what a family office is, let me know. It's I think the test is in down markets how some of these alternative strategies for persevering work out, not necessarily in the good times, but how they work out in the bad times. Global bonds are selling off today as investors are reacting to Trump's tariffs and a German paradigm shift. What is the German paradigm shift? German government bonds continue to move higher a day after recording the biggest daily jump since Germany's reunification in 1990. Government borrowing costs rose across the globe. That's not good. If you and I are getting 4.2, 4.3, 4.5%, we're getting more yield for leaving our cash with people.
30.
Whether it's in a bond, it could be a dividend stock. The 10-year Bund, seen as a benchmark for the wider Eurozone, is attracting a flight to safety. And it's having to pay higher yields. That's trouble. Less growth in the future. Stagflation is the word of the day.